Welcome to Getting Sketchy Live, brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. And now, let's get sketchy.
Hello there, everyone. Matt here with thevirtualinstructor.com, and welcome to Getting Sketchy Live, the greatest live broadcast in all of YouTube. Of course, Ashley and I are glad that you're joining us this evening for episode 3 of the real season 11 here tonight. What we're doing here on Getting Sketchy is either myself or Ashley. We try to create a drawing for you inside of 45 minutes. And of course, we sprinkle in a little bit of entertainment and instruction in there, not necessarily in that order. It should be exciting and a good time. And this season, we are drawing our own subject matter, and we are using the media of our choosing. In seasons past, we relied on a wheel. We did a game show theme. We've done all kinds of stuff. But this season, we're doing what we want to. And like always, I'm joined by Ashley, sitting right over there. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Just sitting here doing what I want to. Happy Wednesday to you guys, or early Thursday morning, wherever you're at. I hope you guys have your materials and you're ready to follow along.
Absolutely. And we'll get into it in just a minute. We're going to be working with charcoal tonight. We're going to be working on white drawing paper. But before we get into it, of course, I need to say all the things I say. And that first thing is to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and click on the notification bell so you're notified when we do live broadcasts and when new videos are posted, all that good stuff. And if you like this video, give it a like. And of course, you got to check out the membership program if you haven't done so yet. You are missing out. That is not an exaggeration. There are a ton of drawing and painting courses, live lessons that have been recorded for many years that are waiting for you. Weekly critiques as part of the Members Minute, and a year-long curriculum for visual arts teachers. All of that is a part of the membership program. To learn more about the membership program, just click on the link below this video. You'll see a couple of links down there. One of those links will go to the membership program. Another link, if you want to just check out 3 of the course videos and ebooks for free and get on our mailing list, you can do that too. So there's a link for both of those things below this video. And oh yeah, of course we are live. So there is a chat box on YouTube if you are watching this live. If you do have a comment or question that's directed specifically, that's the word I'm looking at, that is specifically for Ashley or I. If you will use the super chat function, that of course will help us out, and it will get your comment or question highlighted, and we can address it very easily. The chat box does get rolling pretty quickly there as we go through the broadcast. Is that it? I think that's it, right?
I think that's everything.
I think that's everything. That's plenty, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right, let's switch over and get into this one. All right. So that's a problem. That is not what the camera is supposed to be seeing there. All right, we're having a camera issue. That pencil that's on your screen is not actually there. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to restart this camera.
So we're looking at a picture.
And hopefully we don't have to restart the feed.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to actually restart the feed, unfortunately. So
oh, gracious.
We had some difficulties when we started anyway, so we're going to restart the feed, if you can hear me, and then we're going to make sure that this camera is working properly. It has frozen on us, so be patient.
This is not a pencil.
We'll be right back. Okay, let's see here. All right, we're gonna assume that we are back now. I think we're back. Believe it or not, this is not the first time we have live streamed. We have live streamed probably, I don't know, hundreds of times.
Yeah, that's right.
But these things happen here, and now I'm all discombobulated. I can't get the chat back up.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
yes, we're back. I see that comment there. Thank you for that, Ann, because we assume we're back, but we're not totally sure, but we're back. Okay.
I had a little connection problem with YouTube at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So it must be related.
There must be technology difficulties in the air. Yeah, when we started the live stream on our end, YouTube wouldn't actually let us start the stream for some reason. We have to wait for them to give us permission or something, but That was taking forever, so we had to restart all that. And now we're back. Let's see. Now look,
All right.
that actually works. All right, so here is my white drawing paper, and for those of you who want to know, this is 6 inches across by 8 inches tall, and it is proportional to the reference photo, which is right over here. By the way, the reference photo is available on the community tab. To get to the community tab, just click on the little small icon of my face in the lower left-hand corner underneath this video. Then click on the community tab and you will see this photo reference if you want to have it and work from the same reference that I am tonight. I will, of course, have the reference up during tonight's broadcast as we go through the process. As I mentioned, we're going to be working with charcoal. So I've got some Vine charcoal here. And I also have compressed charcoal in this charcoal pencil. Now, the eraser is going to be very important tonight. And when I say eraser, I mean the couple of erasers that I'm going to be using. So I have a kneaded eraser here, a very worn and used eraser. It has seen, it's in its old age here. It's dark. It's getting to the point of no return. I also have a vinyl or plastic eraser here. This is a Mono Zero eraser by Tombow, I think is who makes it. And this will be for some more precision erasing. And then when I really want to take the charcoal off the surface, I'm going to use my electric pencil eraser or eraser. It can erase all kinds of stuff. Tools. Hopefully you can hear that. It's a pretty cool tool here. And I have a couple of blending stumps and blending tools here too. So I'm going to have 45 minutes to complete this drawing. And as I mentioned, an eraser is going to be very important for this because we're actually going to cover the whole paper with charcoal to begin with. And then we're going to be doing a lot of erasing to make some of the lighter values. And we're going to push the values so that we have a full range of value here. So we're not going to be really drawing with lines tonight. We're going to use some lines in here, but this isn't going to be like a typical, we'll start off with some lines and make shapes. This is definitely more of a painterly approach to creating a drawing. So
that's what I was going to say. This is a great approach to learn to think like a painter.
Yes.
Less like a drawer.
Yes, yes. All right. I also have a paper towel that I've folded over to keep the palm of my hand from destroying things too much. And I have a wet paper towel too that I will use to clean my fingers throughout this process. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I need to start the timer here. So we'll get that going, 45 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and cover the paper without making those terrible squeaky noises.
Yeah, that Vine charcoal can give you the fingernails on a chalkboard.
Oh gosh!
Sometimes it's got kind of a tinky, clinky sound when you click them and drop them together, but scratch drives some people crazy.
And just so you know, charcoal comes in different forms. Obviously, the vine or willow form of charcoal is very soft, very easy to blend, and very easy to erase. So, yeah, wow, a lot darker. Yeah, I see that comment. A lot darker, but this is not going to be as dark as you think it is.
Well, when Matt spreads it out and smooths it out, you'll be surprised how much comes off.
All right. The drawing is finished. All right, so I'm going to take a blending stump here. I'm going to make sure I'm using kind of a cleaner side here. And I'm just going to give this a nice little blend. And I'm going to make these strokes a little bit more horizontal. And there we go. Getting lighter now. Now you can blend with your finger if you want. You don't have to use a big old blending stump like I've got here. But I do love these big old fat blending stumps. They make blending fun.
By the way, Matt, Orion Nebula says, thanks for the latest YouTube edition, The Moon in Color Pencil.
Oh, yeah, I knew you'd love that.
I'm not surprised you like that.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that one.
She says she's going to be doing that project later this week.
You know, I sat on that video for a long time. I've had that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it just came out because I've been looking at that moon in the studio for a while now.
I've got other drawings that nobody has ever seen yet. Like that teapot vase
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Nobody's seen
I can't
that.
believe
No,
that.
no.
Oh, man.
No, that
that's a
that
real
is.
gem.
I did that for a course, but I have the course that I'm working on right now, and then I have another course planned after that, and then that will be for the course
my
after that.
gosh,
So
you got started on that one early.
people aren't going to see that one for a
Like a
long
year.
time. All right. So I've covered the surface here. It's nice in a middle gray. Now I can start erasing things out here, and I'm going to start with the kneaded eraser. And I'm going to use the eraser kind of as a drawing tool to figure out where the horizon line is. So I'm going to look at the edge of the picture plane, and we're just going to bring that little heel down. And Ashley and I were talking about this image. And it's really compositionally a really cool image, but it's not like the beaches we're accustomed to, you know. And it's quite a bit different. So
And
there's people on the sand dunes all bundled up.
Right. That's what was confusing me. Is everybody looks like they're wearing their winter clothes. But I guess people go to the beach in the winter.
Just say you go to the beach, then,
you know.
yeah.
And of course, the beaches are always windy.
It's so they don't have to wear sunscreen.
Smart.
Yeah, they've got to figure it out. All right, so this doesn't have to be
You get
exact.
nice organic marks with that eraser.
What's
A
that?
little bit of variation with the eraser kind of
Yeah.
contributes to the organic subject.
Let's see. We've got a little white spot down here. So I'm quickly putting this little bit of information in, and
So,
we'll refine it as we go.
How this is like a little bit more like painting. You can see there's already material on the surface, and Matt is moving it around. But because there's already a tone to the surface, he can choose to make darker marks or lighter marks. A lot of times, I mean, we can of course do that when we're drawing with graphite by using our eraser also, but a lot of times in a sort of a drawing mode of thinking, we're gradually making things darker and darker until we finally get to the darkest values, and then we're done. But with painting, a lot of times you put like base colors down and then work light and dark colors into it, especially if you're painting wet into wet. And so since Mac has the choice of going both ways, getting lighter with his erasing tool or getting darker with his charcoal, that's how maybe it has a painter's sensibility to it, as opposed to the way we often approach drawing. It's still a drawing.
Yeah, this is definitely more of a painter's approach. And I like to refer to charcoal as the artist's drawing medium or the painter's drawing medium, because it is definitely more like that.
Matt, Buddy has sent us a super chat.
Oh my gosh. Buddy,
We're glad to hear from you. Glad you're here tonight. She says you are definitely the best art teachers out there. Thank you for being out there.
Oh, buddy, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, of course.
Very much so.
All right.
Buddy said she was going to be lurking tonight, and then I hear she's already thrown a super chat at
she's
us.
lurking all right. It's because this is an image of the beach. This is not what I would think of as the beach, though. This is more like the seashore or something a little bit more poetic. Yeah. Did you say poetic too?
I did.
Weird. All right. So this little edge, we're going to bring it back, but the values in the sky are very similar. Oh, we're cheering again.
Still cheering.
We're all messed up here. The values in this drawing are very similar. The background values and the foreground values are very similar. The sky is actually a little bit darker, but we still want there to be some indication of some clouds and stuff up here. But we don't have to spell everything out. We just kind of get a general idea of what's up there. And what's great about charcoal is if you do something you don't like, you can just kind of smear it out, add a little bit more charcoal there. Actually,
so forgiving.
Kind of like how that pulled some of that off there.
Away accidentally and have to put it back.
Right.
James is wondering if we've ever used water-soluble graphite or charcoal, and I have the graphite, water-soluble graphite pencils.
Yeah.
They're super cool, actually. I was on the fence about them till I had a student complete it was like a portrait of her and maybe 5 of her closest friends. Super detailed with, it was all graphite with a regular pencil, not a water soluble pencil in the foreground. And the background was a lot of leaves and trees and things like that. And she did the background with the water soluble graphite and activated it. And it really gave it the feel in the drawing of what you get sometimes through a great camera lens, where you have like a Gaussian type blur in the background.
Bokeh
Makes the figure or figures in the foreground really sharp. So she used, this particular student, that's the first time I'd actually seen the pencils in an artwork. She used it to great effect to separate the foreground and the background. And so she gave me one, and I played with it in my sketchbook for a while. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've used all of those, water soluble graphite.
Mm-hmm.
And there are different types of water soluble graphite. There's water soluble graphite that's more like traditional graphite, where it's grayish.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also a material called graphitint pencils, which are also actually water soluble graphite, but they have color associated with them. And most of the colors are kind of neutralish colors. There's only so far you can go with graphite when you add color to it. All right, let's bring out some more of those clouds here. So I'm gonna make this a little bit lighter, and then we'll get a foundational shape for our lighthouse in place.
Yeah, those little circular touches with the eraser create a nice billowing effect up there.
Yeah, they look cloudy, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to mimic exactly what's in those clouds. I just want this to look like there are maybe some clouds back there. And all of this right now is going to look like, it looks like I'm erasing a lot off the surface, but I'm really not. These areas can still get quite a bit lighter. You see that? So we're going to be able to bring in quite a bit of light here.
I was making fun of your old, dirty, almost useless kneaded eraser last week.
Yes, I remember.
But it's perfect for this because it won't lift too much. It's not
it's not too strong. Yeah.
You get a brand new kneaded eraser that you're using for the same thing. You'll have to be even more delicate with it because it would lift a little bit more off the surface than Matt's broken in kneaded eraser.
Broken in. I like that. I would call it experienced.
Looks like Sue was asking about the type of paper. Now, it's 6x8 is the size. Is that right?
Yes. This is just white drawing paper. Just standard.
Sulfite drawing paper.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah. Probably 80 pound.
It is 80 pounds, yeah. All right, let's get some of these little ridges kind of planned out here. All right, I'm going to switch over to my vinyl eraser here, and I'm going to go ahead and get an indication of where our lighthouse is going to be. So let's move out right here. And I'm just going to erase out the front face of that lighthouse.
Mm-hmm. Looking for that light.
It goes up to about right, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe about right here. And I'm going to make this just a little bit wider, or about the same as it is in the reference. If you're going to make it one way or the other, I would make it a little bit wider, because we're going to have to put those windows on there. And then go ahead and get that little top edge there.
The lighthouse isn't very different in value from a lot of the sky.
No,
Got
this
that
is
dark edge on one side. That
right. This is not. I think in the community section, someone said this looks like an easy image, and it's not as easy as you would think. If we were
some of those subtle value changes very close together.
Yeah. If we were drawing this as a line drawing, yeah, there's not a lot of information.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of line. But this is about value for sure.
Yep. This one's about value. And the lighthouse is such a simple form. You know, it's this grand rectangular prism there.
Especially
against all
this
those
one.
wavy, curvy edges. Yeah. So it really stands out. Just a little bit of a bleak image.
Okay,
I
I'm
like
going to
that kind of
take
contrast.
my blending stump here and just smooth that out a little bit. And try to eradicate that outline on the back side there. All right.
As Art says, as a landscape artist himself, he can say that this isn't an easy drawing. It's true. It's subtle.
It's a challenging image here. Just because of the way we're doing it here, it's really it's more of a challenge than drawing it with lines, but this is such a more of a rewarding way to work, in my opinion.
and you're going to create a feeling of atmosphere through the process. So that's what's kind of cool about it. It's already happening.
Define the edge here with some of the vine charcoal.
It's a little like how film used to develop in the darkroom. You know, it just kind of gradually come out of the paper, and the contrast would increase through the process.
Yeah, this approach, this lets you basically pulling the image out of the paper or out of the charcoal. And you can work as fast or slow as you want with this. We're going to get something that is understandable here after 45 minutes. But if you wanted to make this a little bit more photorealistic, you definitely could with just a little bit more time using the same approach. A lot of
small texture marks in the dunes.
Oh yeah,
you could go after that.
Yeah,
maybe work even a little larger.
Bring in a little bit more of. There's not what's interesting about this is some of these people on the beach or down at the seashore have a shadow while others don't. So
there are vampires on the beach.
Well, I was thinking about it and I was wondering if this image may have been manipulated. But so, you know, the front edge of the lighthouse has such strong light on it.
Yeah, it does.
But we don't see a whole lot of that strong light in the clouds or in the beach, really, in the people on the beach. Okay, let's bring those clouds, make them a little bit softer.
Now Matt's making me question the existence of this location.
Oh, I'm sure it's a real location. Just making things a little bit softer because there's not a lot of contrast in the sky. All right, this needs to be a little softer down here. And we are just 10 minutes into the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's make this a little bit stronger.
Electric eraser does a great job of removing that material. Sometimes you got to keep it moving, though. You don't want to rest too long in the same place. You can start to dig into your paper a little bit.
Yeah, so this is not very strong. This is stronger. This is the strongest. Let's go ahead and define some of this sandy area down here with the stronger eraser. And of course, I'm going to make the sandy area a little bit lighter. Which you know, the sky, it's going to make the sky look a little bit darker. I don't want the sky to look dark like it's a scary day, but it kind of is a scary day there, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Francis says Vampires on the Beach would be a great title.
Ooh, that would be a good title.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, they have kind of a castle-like lighthouse behind them, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like a fortress. Brent Desart says lighthouses are among his favorite subjects to draw and paint. And Matt and I live in a state that is famous for its numerous lighthouses. And they all have unique and different paint schemes on them. Some have spiral paint jobs. Some have like Argyle diamonds on them. Pretty awesome. So where's the lighthouse at the that's at that golf tournament, the harbor?
Yeah, that's Harbor Town.
That's a square lighthouse, right?
It's kind of an octagonal.
Yeah, okay. But it's got flat sides.
It's got flat sides, right. But it's kind of more octagonal.
It's a pretty unique lighthouse as well.
All right, so we're slowly getting some hills happening here.
Starting to develop some space now.
So I bet none of you thought we'd be drawing with an eraser tonight.
Oh, I think that charcoal pencil is going to have to make its appearance.
Oh, it will.
Of course, but it's crazy, Matt. We've been going now for 14 minutes, and it's been all eraser so far.
Yeah, pretty much, except for that little bit I put right there.
Yeah, that's right. And you could go back and forth more frequently, but it is nice to see how far you can push it just with the eraser. Just work in one direction of the value scale till you feel like you're there, and then work in the other direction.
And I'm going to switch over here and just put a little bit more charcoal right here. And put a little bit more right here too. And then a quick little gentle blend.
Good gracious, Patricia says Michigan has 129 lighthouses. It'd take a lot of summers to go see them all.
Where's that?
In Michigan.
Michigan.
I would have guessed, but the Great Lakes are practically little oceans, so
yeah.
I guess they need lighthouses.
I guess so, yeah.
Or have needed lighthouses. I had a friend who was about 60 years my senior, who grew up in Michigan back when Chuck Yeager was testing rocket planes and other guys like him, test pilots. And she talked all the time. She got older about her memories from Michigan growing up on the right there on the water, and would talk pretty frequently about the test pilots breaking the sound barrier in the early days of doing so, and knocking the plates out of the like off the wall or out of the what do you call those? What do you put plates in? Is it
A cupboard?
curio? I can't remember. In any case, they would record all the things that would break and then send it to the Army, and they would reimburse them for the things the pilots broke.
Would they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they knew if the pilots had broken the sound barrier too soon. So there was a record of that. So it was a legitimate claim. Pretty cool little piece of history. You weren't supposed to break the barrier till you're like a mile out over the lake or something like that. I can't remember what she told me. But if I had a rocket plane or a jet that would break the sound barrier, I would have a hard time keeping it down myself.
All right. Right now, I'm just using the vinyl eraser to pull out some of these lighter areas here. We have that little bit of sand with the little grassy things.
Mm-hmm. Tufts.
The tufts of grass. You know, I think I broke my toe on a tuft of grass at the beach. It is still,
That's
I mean, I did this in the spring. Oh, no. I did this probably August. It was either August. No, you know what? It was maybe October. I think it was in October. And I was coming back from the beach with a surfboard, and there was a little tuft of grass, literally 2 inches off the ground. And my toe scraped over it, and I heard like a cracking noise.
And it went down.
And it didn't really hurt. And then when I got home, it started hurting, and it started turning like almost black. And I lost feeling in it for a couple of days. And it's still discolored. I can feel it now, but it's still discolored.
On a soft piece of grass.
It's not like purple. It was not a soft tuft of grass. It was like a hard, I've seen hurricanes tuft of grass.
That's right. It's got durable grass
It
down
was,
there on the coast.
it was not budging. It was really more the dirt that surrounded the tuft of grass.
The mound.
The mound.
Yeah. Now, Kalinsta said she's going to put just one person in her drawing instead of all those people. That'll make it even more poetic.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. It's more poetic.
You don't want to mess with the balance, so make sure the lighthouse doesn't outweigh the figures. And so if your figure is a little closer to, if it feels like the figure doesn't hold enough visual weight, you could move it closer to the edge of your composition, and that would give the tiny figure more visual weight by comparison.
Well, the tiny figures do a couple of things. First of all, they add scale.
Yeah.
So you would not really know how big that lighthouse was if it weren't for the figures. And they kind of create a rhythm that leads you up to the lighthouse, which again is, you know, I think this composition's really strong. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so strong. Okay. Let's do this. Let's work on the lighthouse, and then we'll work our way down. I really feel like parts of my sky need to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go ahead and just take up a little bit, and then kind of work that in.
More information in there, and you've erased more away. I guess the sky started to look a little bit dark to you.
Yeah, the sky needs to be darker than the foreground, but not incredibly. See, that's just, there needs to be more contrast in my drawing than there is in the reference, or more variety and value, because there's just not, you know, my sky's a little bit darker than what it is in the reference down here. And the reason why I'm thinking about the sky is because the sky really needs to be how it's going to be before I start adding details to the lighthouse here. So
needs to get it locked in so you can work over it.
Yeah, so I can work over it. So and bring up a little bit more of the cloud here. And let's...
First woman asks, is 2024 Matt's year of no boo-boos?
For no boo-boos.
I don't know.
Oh, you mean like me getting hurt?
Yeah, Matt has
Doubt it.
odd years, right?
Yeah,
Every
it's
other
usually...
year, every other year is worse than the opposites.
Yeah,
Getting hurt.
Yeah, for a long time, I feel like that's the truth, that depending on what year it is, I can't remember if it's odd or even years. I think it's even years, bad things happen. Odd years, good things happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really crazy, some of the stuff that happens. All right, let me bring up a little bit more interest here in this little cloud, since it's so close to our lighthouse. And then let's soften it a little bit. There we go. All right, I think I'm okay with that. Let's go to the lighthouse. That's the only thing that stinks about using this vinyl eraser.
It leaves pieces.
Yeah, it leaves pieces.
And the kneaded eraser is pretty unique in that area. It doesn't shed it off.
Right.
It never gets smaller. It gets dirtier and less tacky, but never goes away.
Bring in that
Grayson
top edge of the
wants
lighthouse.
you to know that they believe that you might need to see somebody about that toe.
It's totally fine now.
Specialist. Just give it another 4 months.
See, the thing is, if I broke my toe, which I probably did, they're not going to do anything.
Well, you're supposed to tape it to a neighbor toe, right? So
I know, who knows?
Back,
but
at a weird angle.
I'm sure it's not anything that they can do. Like
Just
a
tape it
couple
to a
years
neighbor
ago, when it snowed. In fact, if you've seen that colored pencil drawing landscape that I did of the snowy scene,
Mm-hmm.
it was then me and a neighbor were racing down a hill in the dark, and I went into a hole. I basically flew into a hole, and I didn't see it because it was dark. And I put that shadow in the wrong place. It needs to be right there. There we go. And I knew as soon as I hit the ground that something was terribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard to breathe for the next, 2 months. Anytime I laughed, sneezing was like the worst thing in the world. So, but I'm sure I broke my ribs, or I think I did. Bruised them at the very least.
Just a small crack.
If I would have went to the doctor, they would have said, "Oh, you broke your ribs. There's nothing we can do.
Be careful."
But let me give you this bill. And it's for a lot of money.
My wife.
That's what they would have done.
Finger pretty bad a couple weeks ago, and we used crazy glue, glued it back together.
Logically.
Yeah.
Logically.
And if we'd have gone, where it was cut, it had to be glued anyway. So
right.
We could have paid $300 to glue it or $3 to glue it. So we picked the $3 option. And then we had our own bottle of glue, and she could touch it up every day till it healed up.
Yeah, multiple uses.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get multiple uses out of a cast. Okay, so you can see I've switched over to the compressed charcoal here, and I'm using a little bit more precision now. We're going to get some of these details in place here.
Now, I've got to look something up, because Nicole says that she has erasers that have rollers that clean up the eraser crumbs.
Oh, wow. What a wonderful thing to have.
I got to check that out. Sounds intriguing.
Okay, looks like there's a couple of little tiny windows up there at the top, which is a little weird. And there's definitely a window right about here, which is just a little line. And another window about halfway down, which is just another line. And then one at the bottom, which is yet another line. All right. And we've got a couple of windows up here that aren't. They look kind of like they were just thrown on there. Not quite in the middle. Not quite. But it looks like there's other windows up there that maybe got filled in.
Mm-hmm.
Clean that up. A little bit. And then right in alignment with this window right in the middle. And then
Brent
right
has
in
a
alignment with
question
this
about
one.
oil-based charcoal. Are you familiar with such a thing? I haven't tried.
No, I'm not going to say that products don't exist, because there's all kinds of crazy things out there that our manufacturers make. But charcoal is burnt organic material.
It seems so. It's so dry.
Seems
wrong to mix it with. In my mind, it seems wrong to mix it with any kind of an oil. But
so when it's
things have happened.
I mean, when does it cease to become when does it cease to be charcoal?
Right.
And some other type of Frankenstein medium.
So we have not tried it. I'm looking it up now. The looks like Nero oil-based charcoal pencils. Because it's less messy. Now, of course, it's the smudgeability of charcoal that I think makes it so great.
Yeah,
So
you don't want it to be less messy.
Right. It is, and maybe it makes, to me, it looks like it's being compared to pencils, like graphite. Graphite has a little bit of a greasiness to it.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm curious about is, and I can't tell from the screen I'm looking at, but does it have any sheen to it like graphite? Because one of the things I like about charcoal is it's not shiny. So it's super easy to photograph or look at, while you're working on it. You don't have to tilt the paper to get the sheen off of the really dark areas to read your values. So maybe it's supposed to be a best of both worlds kind of a medium, somewhere between the control of graphite and the performance of charcoal.
All right, we're going to give this a quick little blend here, and then maybe a quick little erase. Let's see.
I love those little windows on the front-facing side that are just little tiny marks.
Yeah, they're just little lines. Yeah, the little details make a big difference here with a subject like this.
Buddy asked, why do windows appear black? That's a great question. Something we talk about in the art room often enough. So the sun, even on a cloudy day, is so bright that indoor lights just can't compete with them practically. So on a day, during the daytime, unless the lights in a room are just extremely bright, like a studio or something like that, maybe a photography studio, then they're going to appear dark because the indoor light is darker than outside. And then, of course, when same thing happens as it starts to get dusk, even though there's still light outside, as soon as it's the strength of the light outside is less than the strength of the light inside, then the windows look dark from the inside instead of from the outside. So even when there's light indoor and outdoor, the windows are always going to look dark on one side.
And we do have light coming from the left side, making the top edge here of this little roof just a little bit lighter.
And it's funny, this is a lighthouse and we're looking at it in the day, and so it's not shining a light, but the lightest value is the front of the lighthouse. So it's still reflecting light. Interesting. Jan says that this particular lighthouse was moved about 70 meters inland because it was going to fall in the sea just a few years ago. And somebody mentioned the name of this lighthouse. It's in Norway, but I don't remember the name and probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it. That was quite the undertaking to move a structure like this.
No kidding. I mean, think about the foundation that it's on.
Yeah.
And how far down into the ground they had to go to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You gotta go pretty deep when you're by the oceans.
All right. This has such a really unique top
it's
here.
in Denmark.
I'm going to actually sharpen my pencil here real quick.
Matt, there's some concern over broken toes. I got to tell you, I'm learning stuff about them.
Yeah. Well,
So if your shoes are restricting the blood flow to your toe, it's not going to heal. It's not going to heal right. And you might need a special shoe that provides some space there to take the pressure off.
It's fun. Everybody's toes are a little bit discolored, right?
Man, I saw a picture. I know we're way off the topic, but I saw a picture of LeBron James' feet the other day, and he has his.
Yeah, wait. That's kind of a weird way to bring something up.
Yeah.
I was looking at LeBron James' feet the other day.
No, it is. It's because it's like his little toe is on top of his foot. It's like been moved over or broken so many times. It is in the
Really?
completely the wrong place. And somebody was pointing that out on the internet.
And he's fine, right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's a world-class athlete.
Yeah.
His toes are in the wrong place.
Yeah. Those things happen. All right, I'm going to attempt to put in some of these little darker specks and things real quick, and then we can focus on the people and then the grass here in the foreground, because that darkness up here in the foreground is important.
Looks like you're using kind of a light wiggly touch with the
light wiggly touch. That is the correct terminology.
Mark making is all about how you're touching your paper or your canvas, and you got to find a special ways to move your hand for each texture. And that can be fun. Texture is exciting because most every texture requires some sort of problem solving, and sometimes the answer is in mark making when we're drawing.
I don't know if these are footprints or grassy things or what they are, but they add a little bit of variety to the value.
So Matt has expanded the value range now, and then of course some of the darkest darks are yet to make an appearance.
Yeah, our
darks
darks will be in the
silhouettes.
Yeah, and I just looked at the clock. I thought I was making good time, and now I'm not so sure. Let's go ahead and put some of these people in here so we have enough time to put the grass in the foreground, or at least some of the grass in the foreground.
Okay.
Here. All right, so I've sharpened my pencil, made it super sharp. And we'll start with this guy back here. And just a little bit of a figure-like shape. And we've got another person kind of disappearing over the dune here. Let's a little bit of an edge. And then their friend with them. And let's add this person on the heel here.
King of the Hill. That's what they're playing. It's an awesome game of King of the Hill.
Well, that woman's winning with her dog up there. It almost looks like she's been fishing. Doesn't it look like she's got a fishing rod?
I don't know.
She does now. All right, let's get this man here with a person with them. And just a little bit of cast shadow behind these folks. The cast shadow behind this person.
So you're going to give them little shadows, whether you see it or not.
I'm giving them shadows, yeah, because that grounds them a little bit more and makes there be a little bit more light in this scene.
I think that's a good idea.
And I'm really just worrying about the shape that I see instead of trying to, figure out what's exactly happening with each one of these figures.
Yeah, when they're silhouettes, you really can't tell if they're moving towards or away from you. They're just shapes at that point.
No, I left those people out right there. I think I'm going to leave those people out. There's enough flow.
I was going to say it actually, you can see the curve, follow the people into a curve a little bit easier and then back up the horizon to the lighthouse. Here.
All right, so we might exaggerate some of this grass a little bit, make it a little bit taller.
I can't tell. Is the grass is it in focus in the original reference?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
It's just really, really soft or wispy on top.
Yeah, it's really soft and wispy. And I really should be putting stuff down with the vine charcoal here, because that will be a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the dune isn't all the way black. Neither is the vine charcoal.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Artifix says this one is truly wonderful, fantastic job, and Lisa says looks so good. So,
well, thank you guys, but you're jumping the gun.
The grass isn't even.
Not, but there's still time. 4 minutes. I felt really good about getting this one done in 45 minutes. And I'm still going to need a little bit of extra time. I took a big inhale before I did that. I didn't really. I'm kidding. For those of you who don't know that I'm kidding.
Charcoal over there. This dark mass is really starting to push the lighthouse and the dune further back now.
Oh, it makes such a big difference.
Sure does.
So important. That's why I said that the dark grass in the foreground is so important. And this guy's just kind of blocking the flow, but we'll include him too. That little tuft of grass is going to get another surfer whenever winter is over, wherever this is. You said it was Norway?
I think it may be Denmark.
Okay, well, that's why they're wearing coats.
Two, or there's one that's similar to the other. Kind of like our city has a miniature Empire State Building.
Do you know the story behind that building? Oh no, not the miniature Empire State Building, but the other controversial building.
In our city,
yeah,
the one that was a bank, was originally built as a bank, the Wachovia building.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by the story, but
I'll have to tell you.
It's had some off-color nicknames over the years.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting design, right?
Right.
You can give it that. Apparently, this is what I heard. The person who, the architect that was working on the building was a world-famous, world-renowned architect. I don't know who it was, and the person who was in charge of making decisions, that the architect kept coming back with these really innovative, cool designs. And the person who was in charge of making the decisions kept saying, no,
kept projecting.
No, I don't like that. So finally the architect just said, what do you like? And they said, well, I graduated from University of Virginia, and I really like the dome they have there.
Yeah.
So
Thomas
the architect,
was it I guess Thomas Jefferson designed that or built that dome.
Out of spite, just made the building and put a big dome on the top.
Yeah, that's what it is, really.
And the guy said, that's perfect.
Well, you got to know your client, right?
I guess. Well, yeah.
I always liked it.
Going back in with the eraser here to pull out some highlights and some indications of some grass.
It really helps to quote, push the darks, end quote, as every art teacher in human history has said a million times. That's right, Jan. I've joked that 90% of my advice in the art room is go darker. That is true. I have a tendency to stay light. Even me. Sometimes I have a tendency to stay a little bit light. In fact, we'll be talking about that a little bit on our 11th episode where we critique our own artwork. And I've only done 2 artworks. I'm ready to critique them. Not ready to be on the 11th episode, just ready to talk about things I might do or would do different.
I can't believe there's still time on the clock. I can't believe that.
Lots of time.
There's not lots. There's 21 seconds. But now I can go down here and add a little bit of variety here with the charcoal pencil.
I like the eraser work down there.
It's quick, hurried work, that's for sure. With more time, you can really go in here and just push that charcoal back and forth, lighter and darker, lighter and darker.
Dun, 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 dun.
And, I don't really think, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are new to drawing or maybe just haven't been exposed to it one way or the other with charcoal that are just missing out on how great charcoal is as a drawing medium. Maybe they think it's hard to control or messy. And, I've been blowing a lot of charcoal around, but there's not charcoal everywhere here. It's definitely not as messy as if I was using pastels.
It can be quick, it can be slow. It's very forgiving. To me, charcoal is similar to clay with regards to how it compares to different sculpture media choices. And we learn to sculpt with clay because we can take it away, we can put it back. It's very forgiving, and charcoal is a lot like that. It's a great medium to learn to draw with.
I know it says time's up there. Those of you who are wondering. I know. I'm aware.
Brent Does Art likes the idea of a timer buzzer.
Maybe something that shocks us.
Yeah.
I would really like that one, yeah.
When time's up, the camera automatically goes back to our face so you can see us like grinding it out.
And for every minute we go over, you get an additional
increased voltage.
Ramped up voltage, yeah. Boy, that really changed things. But another thing I hope you see from this drawing and this little demonstration is that charcoal is kind of, we can approach it different ways, but I feel like this is when charcoal is used its best, when you really push and pull it, using an eraser and adding some of the medium and removing it and working back and forth like a painting. It seems like that's where charcoal's in its at its highest potential.
Charles says, Matt, this is beautiful. Orion Nebula says, embrace the mess.
Thank you guys. Yeah. It's not messy. I mean, we're gonna be doing scratch board the next hour for the live lessons, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna be more messy.
Yeah,
than what we've got here.
It is, but it leaves stuff all over the place.
But I found the glove.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
that came with the set.
Yeah,
charcoal kit.
So I'm going to use the kit. Okay. I'm going to use the glove for the first time ever tonight.
Breaking out.
I'm kind of excited about using it too. All right, so time's up. I'll be done. It's pretty much done anyway.
Nice job, Matt.
Yeah, thanks.
Looks great, and the vegetation in the foreground. What a big difference that made, right?
Huge.
Yep.
Huge. Because everything's so light, it needs to have some kind of darkness in there.
An anchor.
Yeah. And that really pulls it together. But, I did this on paper and planned out a border.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see it without
Get a little reveal here.
Edges. Because that always makes it look better.
Mm-hmm. Just
now, I taped my pants before I taped the paper, and I'm also pulling the tape away from the paper at a 90-degree angle. If it does decide it wants to tear my paper, it will not hurt the artwork. It will just tear the paper. You approach it that way. That's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom out a little bit further there so you can see the edges. And then down on the bottom side, pull at a 90-degree angle. Oh, crispy.
Oh, look at that. It's great.
And then we just got the top part to go. And there we go.
All right.
All right.
Really nice comments rolling in. Very nice. Very fast and sweetly done. Terry says, wow, love this one. And Diane says, looks great. Can't wait to try this technique. Black and white is my favorite, and I enjoy using charcoal. Well, then this is going to be for you. You're going to love it.
Yeah. You have to get the details out of your mind. Because a lot of times we want to see the details initially and draw the details. You kind of just have to think in forms of value and shape of the value that you see. And then you can go back in and add details and things.
Yeah, save them for last.
Yeah, and still pull them out. I mean, if you zoomed in real close on these little people, they would not look like people. So it's all about just getting the shape right, getting the value approximately correct. So I love charcoal as a medium. And you can create something so quick, too, that looks so finished. All right. I guess that's it for this drawing. Right?
That's right. Yep, that's it for this one.
Well, let's switch out over here then.
Let's do it.
There's the right button. Thanks for sticking around. I didn't change the camera angle.
That's right.
One time tonight.
All that talk.
But yeah. Maybe the timer was.
Well, you were in the creative flow.
Yeah.
You can't be stopping to do that.
Yeah, I can only do like 3 creative things at one time.
Right.
You add a 4th one. Forget. We're just lucky that we got the stream back up.
That's
tonight.
right. It was a little rocky there in the beginning.
Just wacky. Just this, it never happens that the overhead camera fails.
Mm-hmm.
Never
That's
happens.
true.
And it happened tonight. And YouTube, for whatever reason, did not want us to start streaming. They just said the stream connection was excellent.
Yeah.
And it was like, you cannot stream yet. We have control.
Against all odds.
Right.
We made it through getting sketchy. And you should, against all odds, come over to the live lesson and start a scratch board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start tonight. He talked about scratch board a lot last week. If you missed it, you haven't missed the start of the actual art making. So there's still time. Sign up for a free membership if you haven't. And I guess we've got about 20 minutes, and we'll be starting that program.
Yeah. Well, the trial was free, to be clear.
That's right.
But we're working with Scratchboard, and I cannot wait. It's been so long since I worked with Scratchboard, and I can't wait to start scratching on the final piece tonight. We'll do that in 25 minutes. So we need to switch over. Guys, thanks for joining us for Getting Sketchy. We absolutely love doing this for you guys. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that really love it too. So thanks for being here with us and being live and being active in the chat box. You guys all mean the world to us. And we're very grateful. If you like this video, give it a like. And as always, I wish you all the very best in your artistic success. We're going to go ahead and sign out for this evening. Good night, everybody.